It's Gibbo, and right now I'm joined by a singer-songwriter, media personality, former Miss Teen Jamaica, and the daughter of two greats, Naomi Cowan and Colleen Davis. It is Naomi Cowan. Naomi, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good, Gibbo. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. Loving the New York summer vibes.
You recently released the Paradise Plum Mixtape in conjunction with Word Sound Power, Alpha Lion, and Fire Youth. Whose idea was this, and why a mixtape as opposed to an EP?
Yeah, so actually it was Alpha Lion's idea first. So he and I, we've been friends for a while, and he's also been very interested in my career and where I could go. And so we just sat down one day in my studio at home in Jamaica and just listened to a bunch of old rhythms, and I just kind of came up with whatever came in my head, As a new artist starting out, you want to space out your single releases, give the music some time to breathe. And so a mixtape gives you that opportunity to give people a little bit more of your voice, because that's the thing, people want to hear more. They're like, I love your voice, I want to hear you sing something else, da 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 da. So we figured this was just a dope opportunity to mash up some things, experiment a little bit, and then just give the people more, right? So, and it was just such an easy project to do, because we both love like that authentic, reggae and dance hall feel. And then of course Fire You came through with just mixing it together and making it live, like listening to the tracks individually and then listening to them as a mix. I was blown away, and we wanted it to also fuse the beauty of being a singer, but then also adding that like roots rock vibe to it. And I brought Romain Virgo onto the project. He's on track number 2. I also have a dope female artist. Her name is Shanique Marie from Equinox. And then Tony Rebel's daughter, her name is Daviana. She's also on the mixtape. So I also wanted to be sure I was collaborating with people I really respect and love. And they were all super willing to join me. So I'm excited about that.
How long roughly did it take to complete the whole thing?
Yeah, so it took a little bit longer than it should have, because I was busy managing some other projects. But, thankfully, my mom really helped me. Colleen Davis, who's my mom, she helped me with arranging a lot of my vocals and things like that. She also did some BVs, but it's hard to tell when it's her or when it's me, because we have very similar voices. So I would say the project took about maybe 2 months. Something we could have mashed off in a week and a half max if we just went in the studio every single day. But certain things take time, and I think the timing is perfect. Came out like about a month or so after Paradise Plum came out as a single, which has been getting just phenomenal feedback and reviews and love and support, and just enough people are forward on the tune. So I'm excited about the mixtape right now.
Have you filmed a video for the single Paradise Plum?
Yes, I finally have filmed a video. We just filmed one 3 days ago in Kingston, downtown Kingston, and it's directed by a female director. Her alias is Mesh Marina, and her name is Kia Williams. And we kind of came up with this concept for a candy-colored fashion film. So for us, what we did was we invited some dope creatives that we love and respect, and just asked them to come decked out in like their best gear, and asked them to bring their personality to it. The project was also supported by New Wave, which is a movement in Kingston being led by Lindsay Lodenkwi. So we did a lot of props, and she came up with some cool art direction. And then also it was filmed by a group called Design Dojo. So yes, there's a video that has been shot, and I know they're editing it right now. And I'm just excited to release it to the world, because people have been asking.
And I believe the single is also being used for an advertising campaign for COCONAUTICAL. Can you explain exactly what COCONAUTICAL is?
Yes.
And tell me how this opportunity came your way.
Most steps. So COCONAUTICAL is an online store based out of the UK, but it's about resort wear. It has a lot of beach and beauty products, and it's run by a Jamaican-born designer. Her name is Alessandra. She's a fashion entrepreneur, and she has been fortunate enough to have her line and her company featured in Topshop stores in the UK. And so when she was gonna blast this out and kind of have a new marketing campaign, she felt like Paradise Plum was perfect. respect for the campaign, and I was super honored. And actually, it's right now the song is on Top Shop's Facebook page with their visuals and my music, which is crazy. So it was just dope to feel the song getting traction from people across the world. And when you look at it, it looks as though their campaign is the music video for the song because it just fits seamlessly. So that's good for Paradise Plum.
And just speaking as someone from the UK, for people who perhaps have not visited, Topshop is a clothing store.
Yes.
It is on pretty much every main shopping street in every city in town up and down the country. And also, in a way, I'm not surprised the single has been featured, because it's one of those songs which, from the first time you hear it, it just gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And you find yourself playing it back over and over. So it really is a great song.
Yeah, man. And Topshop is here in New York too. It's in the States. It's kind of growing a little bit in the States and in Canada, but yeah.
You performed at Reggae Sumfest this year. Describe the whole Sumfest experience to me, and how does it differ from other events which you performed at?
Yes, I have performed at quite a bit of events in Jamaica over the last, 6 to 8 months, from the Bob Marley birthday celebration at the museum. I performed at Calabash Festival in St. Elizabeth, the Dennis Brown tribute concert for Reggae Month, Caribbean Love Now, the Hurricane Fund Relief. But this was special because Sumfest is what I think everyone in the industry looks forward to. Not just people who are performers, but people that love reggae look forward to Sumfest to see what each person's bringing to the stage. It's like a big pageant almost, right? So for me, when they called me, it was out of the blue. I just got a phone call, and Joe Bogdanovich was like, "What are you doing on July 21st?" I was like, "I don't know. You tell me, Joe. Am I performing for thousands of people?" So first, just being invited was extremely exciting, and then in preparations, I was able to rehearse with a band a few times. And what's cool about that experience is that you have each artist coming in. Artists are hanging out at the rehearsal studio. So even like for me, when I was putting my set together, Jesse Royal was rehearsing around the same time, and he and I were kind of bouncing ideas off each other, and he was just helping me like, "Yo, this is what you need to bring to the table," that kind of stuff. Nikki Z, who's in the media, I reached out to her from time and said, as a female emerging artist, like, this is what I'm thinking of doing. I have 8 minutes. What do you think? And so that experience was cool to be able to craft together an experience. That's what I would call it, more than a performance. And then, of course, on the night you get there, and it's just this massive thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, compared to other festivals or events I've been on, they had like an artist van come pick you up, and you had someone like walking you to your tent and all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, so many media houses were there. People from Australia, people from different countries. Because this is the reggae mecca, and then of course I got to run into like Maxi Priest and Junior Gong, and Maxi I grew up seeing him, so for him to have seen like someone who's like a baby to him was cool, to share the same stage on the same night. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, but I'm grateful for that opportunity. And so far I've been getting lots of positive feedback. Even one of the Wailers reached out to me, Tyrone Downey, who plays keys. He just sent me a message saying, "Listen, you're a star, like, you nailed that performance." Idonia messaged me on Instagram. I didn't even know he would be watching the reggae night, and he just said, "You did an amazing job." And so I'm just grateful, because it's just a cool indication of what's to come. And I really do hope to be on more reggae festivals across the world, because that's the whole purpose of doing this thing, is that we can bring our music to more people.
So how long did it take you to go through all those messages the day after Reggae Sumfest? How many were in your various inboxes?
Yeah, I think when I got to bed, I just like, I didn't even touch my phone, I think, for maybe like 6 hours, which wasn't good, because then you miss some of the tags in the IG story. So yeah, I don't know how long it took, to be honest, probably like a day and a half, but it's all good stuff, right? You can't complain about getting support, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it took me quite a while, and it was a bit overwhelming, because as I was going through my interviews, I'm seeing this stuff come up on my phone. So I'm like, I did about maybe 4 hours worth of interviews, because there were like 20 different media houses there and things like that. So by the time I was done, I was just exhausted, but it was one of those good exhaustions kind of a thing.
In which ways do you think your media background benefits you as an artist, if it does at all?
Yeah, I think it certainly benefits me as an artist for many reasons. First of all, in the media, you are kind of you become experienced in how to relate to other people of different backgrounds, people, from different countries, people with different everything. So I think because of that, I'm just able to be a friendly, welcoming person. And sometimes artists don't have the best reputation with that. And it's mainly because as creatives, we do tend to be a little bit introverted when we're not doing our art. But because I have been trained in media production and as a media presenter, for me, I just see it as work, And so when the media stuff comes, I just do it because I know the benefit of it. And then on top of that, I think it makes it easier for the media to make sound bites and be able to use content from interviews I've done, just because I kind of have an idea of what is helpful to say, what is beneficial to say, and things like that. So I know it benefits me. I think, all public figures, whether in music, you're an athlete, anybody that has to be in the public eye, it is good to get any media training just because it helps your brand and it helps you to connect with the media more. And of course, we need it. It's a symbiotic relationship, I think, as an artist, between the media and artist. You need me and I need you to do both of our jobs. And I respect the work of the media so much. So I think that experience helps me as an artist for sure.
You studied bachelor's and master's degree in Toronto, correct?
Yeah.
And did you continue there after you'd completed your studies, or?
A little bit, yeah. I stayed in Toronto a little bit after I finished studying, and then it was actually in Toronto where I made the decision to do reggae music and go back to Jamaica. Toronto is such a it's such a diverse, open, creative space that I think I grew a lot as an individual, as an artist. When I first started doing music, I was more interested in alternative indie pop. And then as I was away from home, I realized that there's something special about the legacy that I was born into, and that I realized that I needed to carry that on, and reggae just grew bigger and bigger in my heart. And I realized that it's such a global sound, and if my goal is to reach as many people as possible through music, why wouldn't I do reggae? It's one of the few genres that I think, no matter where you come from, what kind of music you love, when you see people watch, when you're in any kind of club or in a concert and reggae plays, everyone's energy becomes united and we start to flow. I don't know, there's not a lot of genres that can do that to as many people as possible, and I think there's something in the spirit of reggae that is very unique to it. And so all of those things combined, I was living in Toronto and I realized, man, I got to go back to Jamaica and focus on this and make it come alive inside of me as well, and be around the industry, be around the music. There's just some core things about reggae that you can only get in Jamaica, which is why so many people flock to the country to dance, to play music, to create music, to film, to do all sorts of things. And so, that's what brought me back home.
So when you first told your parents that you were going to do that, you were going to pursue reggae music as a career, what was the reaction? What were their comments to you?
Well, first, when I first told them that I wanted to just do music overall, I was working in the media at the time. They were super supportive, and they were just encouraging me to just focus on being a songwriter as well as a singer. And then, when I told them about the whole legacy thing and that, I felt like it was time for me to carry it on. I mean, they just said, we'll support you as best as we can. We have all the resources here, so it wasn't really I don't think they were super surprised, or I'm not sure, but they were just supportive at the end of the day. And so I'm grateful for that. And so when I did my first single, Things You Say You Love, my dad was actually kind of shocked that I wanted to cover, such an old song. But for me, it was kind of the perfect timing to do that. And of course, when I connected with my producer of that song, Mark Pelly from Magic, which is a reggae pop band, and he heard it, he felt honored to even have access to be able to, redo a song of that quality coming from that era and things like that. So yeah, I think they were first shocked because they know the kind of music I tend to listen to. But then I think they realized that it was just a matter of things coming full circle.
Before we finish, is there anything else you'd like to mention we haven't touched on already, or anyone you'd like to big up?
Yeah, okay. So I do want to big up Teflon Zinc Fence, producer of Paradise Plum. He's become such a good friend of mine, almost like family. And, we really believed in this song, and it took a little bit of time for us to actually put it out, just due to different factors. But I just want to say, Teflon, love you, man. Sarah Coach, who co-wrote some of the song with me for Paradise Plum. And yeah, I just want to big up, my manager, Nate the Great from Talent Inc. And also big up Word Sound Power, of course, Alpha Lion Fire Youth, that crew, and just everybody that's been super supportive of my music and super supportive of all of my projects. I'm just grateful that people are seeing my authenticity. I just want to say thank you.
Once again, Paradise Plum, the mixtape from Naomi Cowan and Word Sound Power, is out right now. You can listen for free on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
If you haven't already. And if you have, why not go and listen back again? Naomi,
Yeah.
thanks a lot for taking time to come by today.
No problem.
And chat, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you.